Oh boy. Oh boy. So we're not gonna actually do what we did last week. Because well this is a type of bilateral important stuff here for today. And well, to be more precisely here, my friends, here's what I can tell ya. You just sort of seen right over here that there is a whole type of bilateral stuff that actually sort of took place right over here. Well, some of them are really crazy and bizarre. Just to sort of think right off about it. And it is true that, well, this nonsense, this goof nonsense, are actually destroying leftists. And for the most of bilateral stuff here, what I mean about that is that, yes, correct. For the most of very, very obviously part that when it's come to this leftist, they're the bunch of motherfucking Karens that you ever seen right over. And the other the type of ridiculous stuff here. Oh boy. How the media actually sort of claim that this truckers convoy rally is been sort of organized by, let's see, Vladimir Putin. What the fuck? Holy. Uh, oof. It is ridiculous. Yeah, CBC, they went on it. Oh, it's Russia, it's Vladimir Putin, obviously! Again, that is BS. That is literally 100% BS. Because they go on here and say, oh, it's Russia, yes, Russia, more Russia. So, well, what does that sort of mean? It does surely mean that they are just so desperate on this stuff. Correct. They are 100% obviously desperate on trying to spread fake news right over here. So yeah, Russia. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh boy. Was it? So yeah, Russia. Oh boy. Sorry about that, my friends. Holy shit. I never just sort of expect that here. Uh, we're gonna get to it right in few seconds. There we go. Hold on. Just hold your horses for now. And, well, of course, be right back. Oh boy. There we go. My deepest apology for that. So, in any event, we're gonna actually get into this type of stuff here. So, what a crazy stuff that are actually taking place in Ottawa. Crazy stuff. That's what I meant about crazy stuff. And Well, for the most of very obviously part here, what I'm talking about is the honking honkers. And obviously here, my friends, is that not only that, the mayor of Ottawa, they're really getting desperate here. Desperation is running over these goofballs. But way more honestly, the thing we should say to these people is that hell no, 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 no way that we will let them destroy this motherfucking thing. All right, there is no way. So, oof, that's it. So just hold your horses for now, and surely here, my friends, there's a whole support that actually came from Fox News. But I would say the media, they just sort of, uh, they're also desperate. They're doing their every best to destroy this, to destroy this trucker convoy. And Trudeau, he is surely doubling down on stuff here. That's what I can tell. He is not backing down, he's doubling down. But let's see how it gonna goes. And also, there's a whole type of over bilateral stuff that actually taking place right over here. What I mean about that here is that correct. Correct. 100% correct is that looks like conservative MPs are actually voting to actually either keep O'Toole or kick O'Toole. I would say kick that asshole out. That would be a great thing to see. Oh boy. Holy makamole. Oof, there we go. Music time. Music time.
Can't help but look around and feel like things are getting out of hand. We've been told to trust the science, but the science just doesn't make sense. They say it isn't mandatory, but they also say you jab or you drop. But if it doesn't stop the spread, it makes it feel like this is just a facade. What about the healthcare workers? What about the frontline nurses? How quickly we forget that they were working 18 hours a day. What about informed consent? What about due diligence? It seems the country that I used to call home is surely slipping away. I can't help but look around and feel like minds are slowly starting to change. Cause even if you're triple vaccinated, know that segregation isn't the way. Freedom is a choice and it's available to all if we choose. But first things first, you gotta turn off the news. Yo, what about the healthcare workers? What about the frontline nurses? How quickly we forget that they were working 18 hours a day. What about informed consent? What about due diligence? It seems the country that I used to call home is surely slipping away. If you're late to the party, there's plenty room at the table. This side don't discriminate. I'm calling on every single man, woman, child if they're able. It's time to take the streets and liberate. But please don't be a part of the problem, staying willfully ignorant, cause there's just way too much at stake. Yo, it's okay to change your mind, you can admit you were wrong. Cause where there's perfect love, there ain't no shame. Heavenly Father, show me what I don't understand yet. I got my marching orders, I don't fully know the plan yet. Hold on to my Bible before bed, no it ain't banned yet. Did you know the makers of the vaccine make the Xanax? I would never lean on corporations for morality, cause they put their profits over people for their salaries. Know they wanna make you bend the knee for your normality. I know you feeling all alone, but in reality, there's way more of us than them. 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 That's the truth. There's way more of us than them. There's way more of us than them. There's way more of us. There's way more of us than them.
You started a podcast in the morning, and you're going to finish it on your...
Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a whole type of bilateral things here, and this is very, very. This is the song that I really like the most here. Sad little man. Holy. Sad little man. You can watch him in the news, preaching his war while I learn your rules. The little man did it and a lie.
He's dead in his soul, but he'll keep you alive. Do what he says, not what he do.
Cause the truth is for him and the lie is for you.
Sad little man, but he's treated like a god. As the faithless prey to a fake and a fraud. Worship the man, pledge to his word. One shot, two shot, now you get a third. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man.
Hold on here, my friends. Just hold on for a few seconds. Something wrong. Well, of course, there's a type of things that are actually taking place here. Hold on here. Looks like, here we go. There we go. So, my deepest apology for that type of technical issue here, my friends, and here we go.
Sad little man, gonna trap you like a dog, put your head in the net while they eat you raw. Don't ask why, just comply. Spear is the drug that the doctor prescribed. Sad little man, you can watch him on the news, preaching to his choir while they learn the rules. souls. Some feel safe and some feel healed, but they'll all hold his hand as he makes the kill. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. Sad little man, and he wants your kids. Some might live while the rest get sick. So put him to the test and listen for the yell. When the truth comes out, he's gonna burn in hell. Sad little man, you better run now while you know you can. Sad little man, you don't fool me, you sad little man. You can't fool me, you sad little man.
I love that. Can't fall, my sad little man. Holy shit. Oh boy. Whew. How you guys doing here, my friends? And way more honorably of part here. Yes, correct. There is a whole lot of stuff that are actually going on here. Huh. Let's see. So, well, of course, here tonight, well, for sure is that CBS is actually telling its numbnut audience, yep, that, well, Joe Rogan is killing people. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Boy, a boy has been refused of, well, what? Medical treatment just because based on his motherfucking parents' vaccination status. Wow. CNN's blind doctor. Holy shit. Oh boy. That is literally something else. Yep. Blind doctor, he goes on like, oh, Joe Rogan doesn't have any type of credibility as CNN does, and it's just sort of, seen right over here that you shouldn't listen to Joe Rogan. Yeah, go fuck yourself. And, well, obviously, YouTube is again with their censorship. And, well, obviously, Canadian official is in full panic mode. Holy cow. That is something else because, well, for sure, you just sort of, seen right over here how the narrative is sort of crumbling right over. That's why they can't have any of it. Correct. They can't have any of that. By meaning of it is that, yes, they cannot actually leave this alone. And they need to do something. By meaning is, well, obviously, cause some type of stuff here, right, to prevent smears, all of this stuff, kind of smearing, trying to spread fake news, obviously, because why is it? That is because, yes, for obviously of the part. Holy. So yeah, obviously of the part here, my friends, is not correct. And they're in full panic mode. And they cannot have any of this stuff. And there's more stuff here. This is Asseylum just a Villamor show and you're currently watching it here. Um, as of wait now, what? So once again here, my friends. Welcome to the show. So well, how about let's go on and actually see what's going. What are some things, shitty things that the uh, mayor of Ottawa is trying to accomplish here? Uh, hold on, because this is ridiculous to just sort of see. And looks like right over here is that towing companies refuse to actually go and, well, sure, 100% surely is they refuse to tow the convoy. So, well, overall of the stuff here, it's not even surprising to see how desperate these people are, scumbag politicians are, and they will do everything. Yes, they will do everything in their power. Yes, everything they can to just prevent people from actually seeing this and from accomplishing things here because obviously the little dictators they are afraid. So that is why you just seen over here that this mayor is ultimately trying his best to just, well, overall part try to get rid of the freedom convoy. So you know what here, my friends? Yes, oh yes. So you just seen here is that again desperation is 100% running over the, well, this I feel these people I feel, but yeah, so obviously is that I would say you just sort of seen right over here that This well, people, they are just having their desperation running over them, and they're just trying to do anything just to get rid of the freedom convoy because take a look what's happening at Ottawa as of right now. See, massive honking honkers. Yes, tons of trucks honking their horns, and not only that, tons of yes, thousands of protesters, more than thousand. I would say 10,000 or 100,000, maybe half a million, or even a million protesters. And you see, these people, they actually came from across the country. So no wonder why you just seen right over here that yes, why they are in full panic mode. That's correct. Oh boy. So, oh boy. I really love the response here. And looks like Dogford. Let's see. He broke his silence. Hmm. That is utterly weird to just sort of see that over here. Uh, hold on. Um, let's see. Uh, boy. Whew. So, we're just gonna actually try to find it right over here, and till then, be right back here, my friends. I'm back here, my friends. So sorry about that. Sorry for the delay here. So, well, of course, I finally sort of found it. And this is literally so hilarious to just see here. Let's go over here and oh boy, take a look at this. So looks like here is that the mayor of Ottawa didn't get what he wanted. He didn't get his way because most of the apparently things is that the towing companies said they got the coof. Yes, they got the coof. And I think they just sarcastically saying that. And this is an overblown to this kid fucker mayor of Ottawa. Because he just again just like Trudeau desperate to get rid all of these people out. Because they're in sheer panic mode. They're actually shitting their pants as of right now. But here's the point here, my friends. I think this weekend for this weekend, I might actually see if I can pay a visit to this kid fucker. If I can go to the Ottawa City Hall and just sort of stand by there and actually pay that asshole a visit. What do you think? Maybe I should. Maybe I should pay him a visit and 100% blow his ass off. Um, Here's the thing here. I would say is that there's gonna be a whole type of chance here that I'm actually gonna go and do that. And if I do, I'm gonna live stream it right off on my personal accounts. Oh boy. So let's take a look at this here. Hold on. Holy. Oof. There we go.
Truck here warming up. I just got a bunch of nice fruit dropped off to me. I was just talking to this gentleman and this nice lady came by and had something to share with everybody.
You want me to say it?
Yeah. What just happened here? Okay, I just sitting in my truck here warming up. I just got a bunch of nice fruit dropped off to me. I was just talking to this gentleman and this nice lady came by and had something to share with everybody.
You want me to say it?
Yeah. What just happened here?
Okay, I was just talking to a local that lives right here in Ottawa. He's been here for 30 years. He knows what's happening. And he told me that the mayor of Ottawa he called the tow truck companies to start towing these semis off from the streets. And every company said they have COVID.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Justin. We'll be gone by yesterday.
Oh boy. That is something else. Oh boy. Oof. This is the funniest part here. That these towing companies they said that they all got the coof. So meaning of it is that they also actually said that they cannot actually um cannot come there and do it. And this is a massive fireback to this idiot. And this is a type of message that has been sent out, literally uh, telling this idiot to go fuck himself. And looks like that these towing companies in Ottawa, they're not willing to actually do these motherfuckers dirty work. No, they're not. Looks like that they're not interested in doing his dirty work. So there you have it, there, my friends. This is a massive fireback, and I would say is that these towing companies, they are surely on the right side of the history. That is 100% correct. They're on the right side of the history. So it's actually gonna make you sort of wonder that why on earth kind of these towing companies in Ottawa, they actually don't want to say they don't wanna sort of say they don't wanna do this literal shit stuff. I'll tell you why. It is because now yes, correct. It is because see, because that you seen right over here. These people they had crossed the line, meaning the people is coming for them. They're coming for their ass, and they cannot have it. They want to maintain their power, so they will do everything they can just to keep in power, to just able to stay in power. So let's just go and actually watch and listen what Tucker has to say about this, about media's allegedly sort of bizarre claims that Vladimir Putin is behind of it. Russia, more Russia. Holy shit.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. You ever notice how almost all the leaders of almost all the countries in the Western world, particularly in the English-speaking Western world, seem kind of the same? They're all what we call needy and fearful, if you think about it. And yet, when they talk, you'd think they were omnipotent. We're going to reverse global climate change. We're going to vaccinate the world. We're going to end all prejudice and replace it with equity. We're going to spread democracy to the untutored nations with guns, and they're going to love us for it. We can do all these things because we're all powerful. We're like gods. You shall have no gods before us. Now, mostly they're puny people, but when they speak, they sound like Caesar, standing in purple robes in the forum, commanding the known world. Joe Biden very often sounds like this. So does that squeaky little woman with weird teeth who runs New Zealand. They all sound like this. They're unbelievably grandiose. It's by design. They'd rather talk about redeeming humanity than bother to fix your kid's school or replace a stop sign at the end of your block. So you got to wonder, why do they talk this way? And the answer, of course, is because they're terrified. They claim to be powerful because they know they're not. It's a bluff. It's a calculated pose. In fact, they know exactly how weak they are. They understand how little popular support they actually have, and they can feel their grasp slipping. And if you wonder if that's true, notice how they overreact to the slightest challenge to their power. Remember a year ago when the QAnon shaman skipped through Congress on his mescaline trip, giggling and spreading good vibes? It was kind of amusing, but Democrats in Washington were panicked by it, so panicked, they called in the U.S. Army and sent that poor guy to prison. It's weird how touchy they get when you suggest they stole the presidential election. Wonder why. But this is not the behavior of secure leaders. This is how despots act when they fear they're about to be overthrown. And there's no more fearful despot in the world than Justin Trudeau of Canada. Over the span of just a few years, Trudeau has turned a nation long famous for Molson and sled dogs and niceness into a relentlessly punitive surveillance state. People have long whispered, in dead seriousness, that Justin Trudeau is the biological son of Fidel Castro. You could laugh it off, but now it's becoming pretty easy to believe. Trudeau has used systematically COVID to short-circuit democracy in Canada and to end organized Christianity there. Canadians can no longer travel freely within their own country. They can no longer return to their own country at certain parts. Pastors have been imprisoned for holding church services. The unvaccinated can be sent to jail for buying certain products in stores. In the town of Gatineau, family members were arrested for celebrating New Year's Eve in their own home. Every large institution in Canada pretends like all of this is perfectly normal. It's always been this way. Canadian media, which are largely controlled by the government, support these policies and Trudeau uncritically. In Nova Scotia, protests against Justin Trudeau's vaccine mandates are now banned by law. Rarely has a nation changed this quickly or more unequivocally for the worse. And last week, thousands of Canadian truckers reached their limit. A convoy of truckers converged on the capital city, Ottawa, to demand, peacefully, cheerfully, but persistently, an end to Justin Trudeau's tyranny. Justin Trudeau's response to this display of democracy, he fled the city. Trudeau evacuated his official residence and hid in an undisclosed location. He is still cowering there tonight. Will he come back? Has he abdicated? Will Canada be ruled by a junta of truckers? Well, not at this point. He emerged by video conference from his lair to declare that Canadian citizens who disagree with him are in fact attacking democracy. Watch.
There is a right to protest. There is a right to make your voices heard loudly and clearly. But there is not a right to shut down our democracy or our democratic processes. There is not a right to abuse, intimidate, and harass your fellow citizens.
So expressing your views is an attack on democracy. And by the way, how dare you express your views as if you were free people? That's tyranny. Democracy is when you obey like serfs. Trudeau's effectively said that. And then because he has no self-awareness whatsoever, Trudeau announced that he's contracted COVID, which is perfect. In other words, take this shot or else, as you can see from the fact I am now sick, it works perfectly. If Canada weren't a country, it would be a remarkable dark comedy. So you may be wondering about these hordes of Visigoths who's descended on Ottawa, the ones who drove Justin Trudeau out of the city. What do they look like? Well, here they are.
I love you too.
Freedom, love, patriotic displays, waving Canadian flags, terrifying. But if you look closely at those pictures, you can see the real problem. These were working class people. They're the guys who deliver your Amazon boxes. And Justin Trudeau is repulsed by them. These people have stepped way outside their lane. Just leave the package on the porch and get the hell out of here. But they haven't gotten the hell out of there. They're still in Ottawa. And Justin Trudeau won't meet with them because he never meets with people like this. Not simply because they are blue collar and dirty, though obviously they are, but because they disagree with him. As a reminder from Justin Trudeau, that's what democracy is. Democracy is lecturing people who nod a lot in response. Watch him explain.
I have attended protests and rallies in the past when I agreed with the goals, when I supported the people expressing their concerns and their issues. Black Lives Matter is an excellent example of that.
So I'll meet with the people at a rally as long as I agree with their goals. As long as they agree with me, it's totally fine. Like Black Lives Matter. You get the sense even someone as dim as Justin Trudeau realizes this is not a winning argument. He needed his friends in state media to help. So they trotted out some attack lines against the truckers, lines they borrowed directly from CNN and NBC News here in the States. So here's Canada's state broadcaster inventing a claim out of nothing that Vladimir Putin himself may be responsible for this trucker convoy. Watch.
Given Canada's support of Ukraine in this current crisis with Russia, I don't know if it's far-fetched to ask, but there is concern that Russian actors could be continuing to fuel things as this protest grows, but perhaps even instigating it from the outset.
Russia! You gotta love Canada, but let's be honest. They always steal our ideas and produce a slightly shoddy copy of them. We have Walmart, they have Canadian Tire. Not to be mean. Russia! Of course, Putin did it! There's no evidence of that, no sources. They've just been reading American Twitter. And the state media anchor is deeply concerned. Who buys this? No one's gonna buy this. It's so prima facie absurd. So they just kept going. Here's Justin Trudeau from his bunkering, offering yet another reason to distrust the junta running the newly formed nation of Truckistan, formerly known as Canada. Watch.
We won't give in to those who fly racist flags. We won't cave to those who engage in vandalism or dishonor the memory of our veterans.
Dishonor the memory of too many Canadian flags. There are like 3 bad people in the crowd, so ignore them all, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, by contrast, no one at any BLM rally ever torched a courthouse or shot anybody or burned down a building. But these truckers, apparently there was a racist flag, so pay no attention. Now, in the United States, we probably wouldn't fall for this at this late date. We're a little jaded at this point because we've seen it so many times. Oh, they had a Confederate flag. Never mind. We can ignore their concerns. The election was totally fine. So again, we've seen it before. But in Canada, they probably haven't seen it. They're a few years behind us. And so, they're kind of impressed by it. Claims like this happened here a few months ago, as you may remember, when Democratic operatives carried around tiki torches to smear Glenn Youngkin as a white supremacist. Again, Trudeau had reason to think Canadians hadn't seen that, and he might be able to get away with it. Trudeau has been honing this line of argument for months now. Last September, you may remember, he accused people who opposed mandatory vaccination, getting a shot because the government requires it, of being racist. Watch.
Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination. Qui sont extrémistes. Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi.
Poor Canadians. They're good people. They don't have a lot of news sources. They've been exposed nonstop for 2 years to this kind of propaganda. If you don't believe in mandatory injection with an experimental medicine, you're a racist? Apparently some believe it. At least one counter-protester this weekend believed it. Watch this, one of the most humiliating scenes ever caught on tape.
What does it say, sorry? So it says, F your white nationalist agenda.
I am not a white. This is nothing to do about white. This is nothing to do with truckers. This is about freedom for all of Canadians. You can be brown, black, white, blue, whatever color you want to be. This is about freedom. And Trudeau has no right to put us in this condition of mandates throughout the country. Children are not going to school. It's a terrible thing to do.
Oh, thank God for Rebel News. It may be. You think Fox is an anomaly in the United States. How'd you like to be Rebel News? Literally the only people in all of Canada who are playing it straight. So there they are trying to tell you that some guy from the subcontinent is a white nationalist. They're trying hard. And now they have evidence. It's brought to you by CNN and naturally working in tandem with the CBC. Apparently, brace yourselves, there was a Trump sign in the crowd of truckers. Watch.
Given the potential risk, Jim, Justin Trudeau and his family, he has 3 kids, live about a mile from Parliament Hill. They have now been moved somewhere. We don't know where. It's an undisclosed location. Out of an abundance of caution, I will also say that former President Trump certainly is supporting this group. I've been out there. I have seen Trump supporter signs out there. And this leads to a larger question. Jim, they're still in the downtown core. Police just released a statement saying, look, we need the trucks to leave. We need people to leave. This city has to start functioning again. And the issue is how to leave. The people who have organized this say that they will stay out there months if needed.
All right, and we know you'll stay on top of it. Alarming situation there in Ottawa. Paula Newton, thank you very much.
No, we don't know who that woman is, but she should be completely ashamed of herself. She's a journalist, And yet she just told you that the ruling party of Canada wants the people who are protesting their policies to leave. And then she nods gravely, and they need to leave. Things need to get back to normal. They've got to run the city, doing all the important things that Canadians do in Ottawa. CNN is siding openly with the Trudeau government because you can't challenge power. I mean, that's what we do in the media, is to remind you, obey, accept your fate. Rich people have spoken, get in line. And we've got a Trump flag to prove it. But it gets worse. There were more racist flags this weekend. One of them imported conspicuously from this country. Now, we have definitive evidence of this. We're getting this from Canadian media, that there was a racist in the crowd. Watch this.
Now he's going. Now he's gone. We called him out. He knows. He's going to hold his head in shame now.
Oh, it's so great. You'll notice in the shot, there's only one person who has his face completely covered, and he happens to be carrying a Confederate flag. Now, the crowd looks at him and says, oh, wait a second. We know who you are. You're Ray Epps. Oh, sorry. But we don't trust you. In exactly the way the crowd in Washington the night before January 6th of last year said to Ray Epps, get out of here, Fed. So the people on the scene didn't believe that guy was anything but a provocateur. Now, we don't know exactly who he was. We'll let you make your own conclusions from that. But we're supposed to believe that this one guy in the full face mask with a Confederate flag proves the entire protest is racist. Justin Trudeau has every reason to run away, like a terrified wuss that he is, and we can ignore the concerns of the people in the trucker convoy. But we've got a couple questions. Who exactly was that guy holding the flag? And where is Justin Trudeau right now? It's not clear where he was broadcasting from this weekend, but what is clear is that unlike Saddam or Muammar Gaddafi, we're never going to be able to find out. Now, you think to yourself, in a democracy, you should know where the head of state is, right? Don't you have a right if you're a voter? Shouldn't Canadians have a right to know where he is? Yeah, but it doesn't matter because Justin Trudeau can hide anywhere. He's a master of disguise. Any place Justin Trudeau could blend in and you'd never know it was him. And to prove it, we're going to show you a series of photographs right now. All of them are real, and all of them depict the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. So here he is, looking very much not like a French Canadian, looking pretty dark, actually. This is an Arabian Night-themed gathering when he was a high school teacher. Oh, he's got blackface on. Interesting. And here he is, blending in convincingly as a Bollywood star in India. Hands grasped together in reverence and prayer. Here he is, flanked by his new countrymen. They have no idea they're in the presence of a Canadian politician. That's how convincing Justin Trudeau is when he decides to play dress-up. They think he's one of them. I love samosas, Justin says. We do too, say the Indians. They have no idea they're talking to a Canadian. But when he's not fooling people in India, he's fooling Native Americans. And yes, there is a difference, bigot. Not all Indians are the same. Here's Justin Trudeau wearing the traditional headdress of one of Canada's many indigenous tribes. Like the Aztecs of yore, Justin Trudeau will rip your heart out, ladies. And yet, what's this? Is that Clark Kent of Superman fame? No, once again, it's just Justin Trudeau. He can impersonate fictional characters. Here he is looking like a stranded pilot in the desert from one of the Star Wars movies. He could literally be hiding on a soundstage in Hollywood as we speak. He could even be on a ranch, as these pictures demonstrate. Look at that hat. Unbelievable. As long as no one hands him a gun or asks him where food comes from, that's a convincing rancher right there. So yes, Justin Trudeau can change far more than his skin color. Get a close look. If you see this man in any of his various disguises, do not approach him. He might be hiding in a nondescript cabin in the middle of nowhere, but he's very much in control of Ottawa, at least for the moment. Chris Barber is a Canadian trucker who joined the convoy and joins us right now. Chris, thanks so much for coming on. How does it feel to have your
Oh boy. So, well, of course, they are a bit there. So, way more analytics is that they just sort of seen right over there how talk sort of with it on here, and well, he actually mocked Trudeau right off there, and I love that. It is way phenomenal to see that there, because I literally of the part here, my friends, is that well, it is kind of true. And Trudeau, well, he actually have worn a blackface many times more than he can remember. To be more honestly, yeah, more than he can remember. Wow, that is something else. Given that asshole. So, well, oh boy. Let's see. Let's go up. There we go. Canadian official expects police to take appropriate action as truck convoy blocks US-Canada border crossing. And well, of course, that's what I've been saying. That Canadian official is in full panic mode. Why? Because obviously of things here is that these truckers actually blocking US they block up US Canada border crossing to actually protest the mandate. And you see right over here that they're actually beginning to freak out. Meaning they're actually sweating. They're sitting there, oh shit, oh shit. What do we do? What do we do? This bunch of truckers, these more white supremacists, they're out there blocking the border. They're protesting these mandates. We they're trying to challenge us. They're actually uniting people. Oh, that's wrong. That is totally unacceptable. We need to do something. Yes, we need to do something. Oh, I know. What we should do, send in police. We should actually make these police officers do the dirty works for us. So let's see. So I would just sort of say wait over here that very obvious of things. Just seen here, they're in full. They're actually sweating, like I said earlier, because you just seen that this so-called Filipinos French minority, small French minority, they're actually holding unacceptable views, meaning views that these motherfuckers disagrees with, that they deemed because why they actually deem it as unacceptable views because very obviously it directly challenged their power. This it challenged them, and they don't want that. Dictators want to stay in power, and they will do everything in their power to stay in. To stay in. Yes, to remain in power. Obviously, they're gonna do everything. Trust me. So that's why they actually literally trying their best to smear all this stuff they're doing it because once again, well, the people had come together and they said enough is enough. We had enough of this motherfucking BS.
This is the War Room with Owen Schroyer.
Please stand by for further details. You now to your regularly scheduled.
I have attended protests and rallies in the past when I agreed with the goals, when I supported the people expressing their concerns and their issues. Black Lives Matter is an excellent example of that. I've also chosen to not go anywhere near protests that have expressed hateful rhetoric, violence towards fellow citizens, and a disrespect not just of science, but of the frontline health workers and
Frontline health workers, hear that? So
Canadians know where I stand.
So I'm just gonna post it right over there, and again, just sort of seeing right over here how this clown is kind of racist, kind of unacceptable view, and blah 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 blah. Literally a hypocrite, calling all of us racist. Those people who disagrees with him had views that he disagrees with that are protesting outside of the parliament here as a bunch of racist and misogynists. That is literally a hypocritical and motherfucking bullshit. Because I'm sure and I hope that he still remembers that he actually worn blackface multiple times that he cannot remember. He cannot remember how many times he had worn blackface. So how dare he actually sort of use this type of stuff to describe us, calling us a bunch of racists and so forth, when he's the one being racist, being a kid fucker, being a motherfucking pedophile. And I would say right over here, my friends, just a sort of point of view, Trudeau, every time he says those words, I think he is just referring about himself. But this is what we need to do. We need to actually fire it back. Fire it back to his direction. Because, again, he's a massive hypocrite. And you just sort of, here, right over here, kind of that, frontline nurses, all of this frontline healthcare professionals. Really. Because, for sure, you try to actually put mandates on it. Mandates. And science, go fuck yourself. There's no science on this one at all. No, there hasn't been a science. No, there's not.
This is a moment for responsible leaders to think carefully about where they stand and who they stand with.
ladies and gentlemen, you know InfoWars is not going to give up or give in. And your support over the years is the only reason why we're still on air. And quite frankly, it's a miracle. I think in the New World Order timeline, they really did not expect us to still be on air. And that's why they're pulling out all the stops right now to try to destroy us. You see about 25% probably of the attacks against us. Maybe now that some of it's getting more public, it's closer to 50, but still just the tip of the iceberg. But you and the audience keeping us on air has been a miracle. InfoWarsStore.com, huge discounts on top-rated, top-selling supplements. In case you don't know about it, here's what we have. Brain Force Plus, Ultimate Krill Oil, Knockout Sleep Support, the Down and Out Liquid Sleep Support, Super Male and Super Female Vitality, DNA Force Plus, Body's Ultimate Turmeric, Turbo Force Vitamin Mineral Fusion. I am really starting to love the new Super Coral Whitening Toothpaste. I just recently made the switch about a week ago, and I'm really starting to love it. Definitely my new favorite toothpaste now, after just about 1 week of use. The Super Coral Whitening Toothpaste. What a great way to fund the InfoWar. A tube of toothpaste. Everybody uses toothpaste. Everybody brushes their teeth, I'm assuming. Why not get toothpaste from the good guys? Super Coral Whitening Toothpaste on sale right now at InfoWarsStore.com. You know, we haven't really been building it up because the news has been heavy and we've launched some other big projects lately, but COVID Land 2 is out and there's already some great reviews on there for COVID Land 2 at InfoWarsStore.com. And it's such a great deal right now. Not only do you get COVID Land 2, but you get two classic InfoWars pieces, Order of Death and Dark Secrets on DVD, and those will be shipped to you for free when you purchase COVID Land 2 right now at InfoWarsStore.com.
So, once again here, my friends, for 100% sure, this is how you see this people like Trudeau saying, oh, leaders need to blah 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 blah. I don't give a shit about it because we know Trudeau, you're a piece of shit. That's it. And another part right over here, let's come to you, Trudeau. You just go on here and on and on and on, saying this stuff, this nonsense. But I would say your time is coming soon. So, well, not only that here, I would say is that not gonna take long before it's gonna be book game over for Trudeau. Yes, game over. Holy. And this is the part here, you're gonna call this asshole out for what he is. Anyways, the show will be right back. Welcome back, my friends. So, how about us actually let's take a look on this numbnut idiot. Who I'm talking about? It's nothing else but little Brian Stelter. Let's see what he has to say. Video Potato Head Brian Stelter says Joe Rogan doesn't have the credibility that CNN does. Oh, what type of credibility? Eh? Oh, spreading fake news? Ah, no. Because the only thing that Joe Rogan is doing is, let's see. Well, it is purely nonsense, and the only thing that Joe Rogan does is, well, obviously, spread truth. Yes, Joe Rogan is telling the truth, so that's why you idiots out there in the mainstream media are in full force on trying to censor and silence Joe Rogan because you cannot have someone like Joe Rogan actually uh, using his voice, his platform, using Spotify and every tool he has in his disposal to red pill people and spread truth. So, well, you just sort of see right over here that this people are seeing and other mainstream media press like all of these goofballs, they're all bunch of liars. Like, come on, man. Um, how many of you, how many of you know that CNN is one of the worst liar of all times? And how many of you still numbnuts out there that still believe that CNN is the most incredible source that you can actually trust and actually spreads truth? There's the harsh reality here. Hell no. They lie, 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 lie. And even if have Sanjay Gupta, that asshole, literally the second version of Fauci, being the salesman of these bioweapons. Yeah, they're not credible at all. And yeah, they're not incredible at all, and they're a bunch of liars. And well, obviously, here, my friends, is that for surely, again, how many times have we seen Joe Rogan calling out these people out and talking about CNN? How many times he called out CNN out for what they are? Multiple times. So that's why they keep trying to actually go after him because they can't have someone out there that actually spreading truth. Phoenix resident creepy clown Warren Starter declared Monday that Joe Rogan does not have the credibility that the cable news network does, and that it's a big problem. Oh, that more people trust talk show stars rather than real newsrooms. Really, really, it's a big problem. Huh. Big problem for you assholes. Why? Because if you have someone like Joe Rogan actually telling the truth, then it's gonna be harder for you idiots to actually spread your lies, all of your fake news. And How many times had President Trump crushed you guys? How many times did he actually crush your heads? Multiple times. I still remember what he said to you idiots back then when he said, "You're CNN, you're fake news. Yeah, CNN is fake news. Don't talk to me." I remember that moment. And, well, how did you what's your reaction on it? How did you guys react to it? Well, by literally having this overall total meltdown. Let's go and take a listen on what Brian Stelter is saying here. Oh boy.
I think it's because of Young and Joni Mitchell, and we don't know how many complained privately. We also don't know how many subscribers either canceled or threatened to cancel over the weekend. But clearly, Daniel Ek, the CEO of Spotify, was under enough pressure that he took these very urgent actions on Sunday afternoon. Here are three of the examples, Kate, of what the company says they're doing. They're publishing the rules they already have in place for podcasts. They are working toward adding a content advisory around any podcast episode involving COVID-19, and they're going to test ways to highlight the rules. So basically, they're doing what Twitter and Facebook and other platforms did 2 years ago. This is nothing original, nothing novel. They are belatedly responding to the pressure from artists and subscribers. But here's what X said in a statement, quote, "It is important to me that we don't take on the position of being content censor while also making sure there are rules in place and consequences for those who violate them." You can hear the tension right there in that quote. He doesn't want to be a censor, but he needs to have rules in place to protect his audience. Now, I did not mention Joe Rogan at all, but Rogan's at the center of this because of the guests he's had on his podcast and the anti-vaccination narratives coming out of this popular podcast. Here's what Rogan said in an Instagram video overnight.
My pledge to you is that I will do my best to try to balance out these more controversial viewpoints with other people's perspectives so we can maybe find a better point of view. I don't want to just show the contrary opinion to what the narrative is. I want to show all kinds of opinions.
Which sounds great, but not all opinions are created equal. You think about major newsrooms like CNN that have health departments and desks and operations that work hard on verifying information on COVID-19. And then you have talk show stars like Joe Rogan who just wing it, who make it up as they go along. And because figures like Rogan are trusted by people that don't trust real newsrooms, we have a tension, a problem that's much bigger than Spotify, much bigger than any single platform, Kate. But that's what is the heart of this right now.
Yeah, but you're right. It is getting at something bigger that isn't going to be solved in one Joe Rogan video or one statement from Spotify, for sure. It's good to see you, Brian. Thank you so much.
That is the utterly biggest crap that I've ever heard coming out from Brian Stelter. Holy. Really? So, real newsroom. And they're just sort of going on here trying to point out that what they've been saying is true, that they've been actually spreading real news, not fake news, that, they're just a bunch of objective journalists. Here's it, everybody. You should trust us over here because obviously what we're actually spreading here is a bunch of real news, unlike Joe Rogan, who actually spreads misinformation. And this is one of the reasons you should actually trust Joe Rogan, because if you actually trust him, he's going to actually lead you to the rabbit hole. And I can tell you, you just listen to us over at CNN, everybody, because over at CNN, everybody, all of us are a bunch of objective journalists. Our goal is to tell you the truth and spread the truth. So just trust us. Don't listen to Mark Dice, Salty Quacker, or Joe Rogan, or even Fox News, because those content creators, those people, they're gonna actually lead you into a rabbit hole. Oh boy. Little Ryan Stelter, oh boy. He's actually saying that people should trust them over Joe Rogan or oh man. And you see kind of Joe Rogan has been actually focusing on anti-vaccine narrative viewpoint. That's what we should actually work on and try to censor Joe Rogan because he's dangerous and he's trying to kill people. Ah, let's see here. America's next. We. Oh boy. U.S. truckers mobilizing convoy to Washington, D.C. White House. Let's say they are in full panic mode. What? So, all of you dipshits in the White House, like all of you idiots out there, if you guys are not hiding anything, like if you guys have nothing to hide, then why on earth you guys in full panic mode right now? Eh? And another part here is that if you're not doing anything wrong, then again, why are you guys in full panic mode? Why on earth you guys are just sweating too much? Oh boy. A fast growing Facebook group called Convoy to DC 2022 is calling upon Americans to MSA Convoy to head to Washington DC to protest Joe Biden's restrictive proof measures. Inspired by the massive 50,000 strong convoy of Canadian truckers surrounding Parliament Hill in Ottawa, the U.S. Freedom Convoy Group, which has over 131,000 members as of writing, will reportedly start in California and traverse all the way to the nation's capital. So, take a look at this. This is going internationally. So, this is the type of reason that they're in full panic mode. That's why they are actually sweating. They're doing their best to literally stop this from growing. Because if this goes worldwide, it's gonna be game over for them. Why? Because um, if the whole world comes together against them, they're done. They're absolutely, it's gonna be game over for them. And they know that. And obviously, tyrants, tyrants, dictators, whatever you want to call it, they will do everything as they can to prevent this type of stuff from happening. Because they know if enough people comes together, well, there's going to be a huge chance that the people will do exercise their power to overthrow you guys out there. And by literally hold you guys accountable. So, given Facebook past efforts to censor trolling grassroots movement that define the official narrative is like in a social media giant will try to suppress the spread of the group and Islam for obviously mobilizing in Australia and European countries. See that? Now Now it's occurred at Australia, and now it's also happening in multi European countries. So this is truly going international. That's why you see in these globalist assholes, they are sweating and they're just ready to piss and shit their pants. They're utterly scared right now. Because remember, it's we, the people, who have the power. Yes, we, the people who have the power, and we, the people who actually voted this motherfucker down. Correct. That's what I've been saying. You know? We, the people who has the power. Not them, not the opposite around. Because democracy means power to the people, not to the government. And who actually pays for their salary? Us, the taxpayers, the people. So meaning, the government works for the people, not the other way around, not the opposite around. So it is very naturally obvious now that these people have totally forgotten it. They got a little taste of authoritarianism and they surely liked it. And they had no intention, yes. They have zero intention on letting it go. Because there is no way on earth they're gonna just let it by. There's no way they're just gonna tolerate it. So there we go. CBS tells their numbnut audiences, dumb audience, that Joe Rogan is killing people, which is totally nonsense and BS. See how these idiots in the mainstream media press, how they try to smear Joe Rogan, attack him, and try to actually, well, deplatform that guy, try to cancel him. Why? Because again, Joe Rogan has a he has 2 times larger audience than CNN combined. Like all mainstream media combined. Like he has a huge audience. So he's using it to his advantage. Meaning he is using it to red pill people and they cannot have it. So they're gonna be doing everything as they can. To what? Yes, censor Joe Rogan. Because they're saying Joe Rogan is dangerous. Huh. Wow. They support free speech in the First Amendment. No, you don't. Go fuck yourself about that. Because how dare you say that you support free speech and the First Amendment while all of you numbnut idiots out there on the mainstream media press trying your ultimate best to just destroy Joe Rogan because what he's saying is best most apparently is that his words is dangerous to you. Is utterly dangerous. His words are dangerous. That's why we must. That's why you guys are doing everything to just take on this guy. But What's the result? None. You guys fail miserably. That's it. YouTube censored multiple live streams of the Canadian trucker protest in Ottawa over the weekend by limiting the viewership for being popular. Uh, Obviously, look at that. So much for the we're removing the dislikes to help smaller creators. It's all about censorship of anything they disagree with, and it always has been. Anyone that still believes YouTube is censoring people for political reasons are living in dream world. Exactly. That's true. That is 100% true. Because once again, here we go. They'll show it to you on the screen. So, take a look at this. Ridiculous. See how they're going on here on full force trying to spread their censorship because they cannot have this information being spread out. No. Because that ultimately trying their best to prevent this thing, consider this trackers thing here to go into to spread more to the world, yes. Because it's if this thing spreads across the world, I can tell you, the world will start rising. And then they're gonna have a hard time with damage control. So they're actually while taking step of damage control right now while still early before it's too late. Because obviously you seen over here the type of ridiculousness. So well January 6th. They knew lie about January 6th the most oh boy the most deadliest insurrection. So ooh. And you just sort of seeing right over here, my friends, is that how Donald Trump is going on here and by over of the part. Well, yes, Donald Trump is using his platform to just expose the things here. I'm not gonna go over on these things here about January 16, January 16 or uh the thing here, January 6 or the election because I'm just being careful on what I say here because Big Tech is watching. I'm sure Big Tech is watching me right now. They're keeping their eyes on me. That's 100% for sure. Trust me. They were InfoWars. Quote, French minority and quote, Canadian truckers raise more dollars than Trudeau's Liberal Party. See that? So, that is the part. Well, just seen here that was up to the truckers convoy protest. They 100% they are out in Ottawa right now protesting. honking their horns. So that's why Trudeau is actually hiding. Because they might throw a lot of shits to him. Look at this. Due to anthrax parents. Wow, unbelievable. So, well, this is basically segregation, medical segregation. And it is so ridiculous to just see this stuff go on. And I have my sympathy for that kid. It is totally wrong to see coercion coming to place. Come on. Are you just that type of people who just sit down and say nothing? No. Speak up. Use your voice against these tyrants. Fight for what's right. So, well, of course, here, my friends. Oh boy. I would what I'll say is that this is it for the show today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for paying attention, and actually, thank you for in your time here today. Listen to my commentaries. So, well, keep up the good fight here. Keep fighting for what's right, and please don't drink the Kool-Aid here. And well, of course, enjoy the rest of your evening here. And if you're in Ottawa, send me videos. If you're taking videos and you're in Ottawa, please send me those videos at newstips at revolutionnews.ca. I'm gonna be putting up here the chat. So news tips at revolutionnews.ca. There we go. That's it. News tips at revolutionnews.ca. That is where you will be sending us the email that you would use to send those videos to me. Not on my emails, my other emails. That email. Newstips at revolutionnews.ca. So, well, obviously, my friends, again, enjoy the rest of your evening and, well, keep up the good fight, keep fighting for what's right. So, well, I would say, have a great evening and, well, good night. See you guys tomorrow. Until then, don't forget, keep fighting for